Every millionaire thinks like this. They don't become wealthy by accident, and they certainly don't remain poor by thinking like the crowd. You see, the truth is simple, but most ignore it because it sounds too easy. What separates those who build fortunes from those who never will is how they think. Let me explain. We become what we think about. That's the great secret. You can take a man with nothing, no education, no background, no inheritance, and if he thinks like a millionaire and acts upon that thinking, he will become one. Given enough time, it's inevitable. It's not luck. It's not timing. It's not who you know. It's thought, sustained, directed thought, and the discipline to back that thinking with action. Now, what do millionaires think about? They think about value, about solutions, about serving more people better and faster. The wealthy are not obsessed with money. They're obsessed with growth, with becoming more useful, more effective, more efficient. Money is simply the result, while most are thinking, how can I survive, or how can I make it to the weekend? The wealthy are thinking, how can I solve a bigger problem? How can I multiply my time? How can I create something that lasts? Every millionaire you admire once made a decision, a quiet decision that went unnoticed by the world. They said, I will become wealthy. I will learn, study, adapt, fail, and rise again. I will never stop until it becomes reality. And here's the good news. You can make that same decision right now. Understand this. It doesn't take a college degree. It doesn't require perfect timing or a winning lottery ticket. It requires a shift. A permanent internal shift in the way you think, speak, and act. You must reprogram your mind to think like the wealthy. Start by controlling your environment, what you feed your mind, the voices you listen to, the books you read, the people you associate with. If you constantly fill your mind with mediocrity, fear, and gossip, don't be surprised when your life reflects those very things. But if you begin to think independently, read daily, plan ahead, and visualize the person you want to become, then you're planting the seeds of greatness. Millionaires think long-term. They invest, not just spend. They prioritize growth over comfort. They understand that temporary pain leads to permanent progress. They are builders, not of things only, but of ideas, habits, and legacies. And they act. Let me say that again. They act. You can think like a millionaire all day long, but without action it means nothing. Wealth responds to movement. Money flows to those who solve problems, those who step out, risk rejection, and show up even when it's hard. Every millionaire faced seasons where no one believed in them, where results were invisible, but they believed in the law. The law that says, if you think right and act consistently, your results must match your thoughts. Let me tell you something else. Wealth begins in the imagination. Before a man earns his first million, he has seen it in his mind. He has walked through it mentally again and again until it became real to him. He thinks in pictures. He sees himself in abundance, living, giving, building, enjoying, not in desperation or limitation. He holds that vision until it becomes fact. You must do the same. Don't think of money as evil. It's neutral. It takes on the personality of the one who holds it. If you are good, kind, and generous, then money in your hands becomes a force for good. But without money, you're limited in how much good you can do. So, desire it, not from greed, but from purpose. Now here's the truth that may disturb some. The average person avoids the very habits that create wealth. They avoid risk. They avoid discomfort. They avoid discipline. They avoid books. They avoid silence. They avoid thinking. But every millionaire seeks these very things because they understand this. What's difficult now makes life easier later. But what's easy now makes life harder forever. So, how do you begin? Start thinking like the person you wish to become. Speak like them. Dress like them. Move like them. Begin building your mind like a fortress, guarding it from doubt and feeding it truth. Every morning, affirm who you are becoming. Every night, review your progress. Think on paper. Study wealth daily. Surround yourself with higher standards. And above all, never stop. You are one thought away from a new direction, one decision away from a new destiny. Every millionaire thinks like this. And if you begin thinking this way, if you make it a part of your inner world, you won't just want to be rich, you will become it. Remember, we become what we think about. What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? You'll stay broke until you believe this. It doesn't matter what's in your wallet, it matters what's in your mind. Every fortune ever built started there, and if you don't understand this principle, if you don't grasp it, absorb it, and live by it, you'll go in circles, year after year, struggling, wondering why money flows to others but never stays with you. So listen carefully. Wealth is not first about money, it's about belief. Belief shapes behavior, and behavior determines results. A man who believes he was born to struggle will find a way to lose everything he touches. He'll sabotage opportunities. He'll reject good advice. He'll call the rich lucky and the poor realists, all because deep down he doesn't believe he deserves more. You can give that man a winning lottery ticket and he'll find a way back to zero. Why? Because he never believed he belonged among the wealthy. He didn't change his mindset. He didn't change his identity. But the man who believes he's destined to succeed, he's a different breed. He can start with nothing. But because he believes he's capable, worthy, and valuable, he starts thinking differently, speaking differently, acting differently, and eventually, his world changes to match what he believes. It starts on the inside. It always has. Now here's the truth. Most won't tell you. The reason most people stay broke is not because of lack of opportunity. It's because they never challenged the programming that was handed to them. From childhood, they were told, money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. People like us don't get rich. Rich people are greedy. You have to work hard just to survive. They were taught to fear money, to feel guilty about wanting more, to expect the bare minimum and call it being humble. But listen, you can't outperform your own beliefs. If you think being rich is wrong, you'll subconsciously block yourself from becoming wealthy. If you believe success is only for other people, you'll never take the steps necessary to claim it for yourself. So, what's the belief you must adopt? It's simple, but it's powerful. You must believe that wealth is your birthright, not just a dream, not just a wish, but something you were made for. You must believe you are capable of becoming someone the world will pay, and pay well, not because you begged, but because you became valuable. You must believe that your past doesn't define your future, that your current bank balance is not your worth, that your job is not your limit, that where you started has nothing to do with where you can finish. Now don't misunderstand me. Belief alone is not enough, but belief is the ignition. Without it, your engine never starts. With it, everything changes. Your habits change. Your words change. Your choices change. Your standards rise. You stop wasting time. You stop blaming others. You stop waiting for someone to come save you. You take full control of your life because now you believe you can. And here's what happens when you truly believe you deserve wealth. You stop spending like you're broke and start investing like you're building. You start reading books instead of watching television. You begin creating more than you consume. You stop chasing quick money and start building lasting value. You start showing up as the future version of yourself before the money shows up. Most people do the opposite. They say, when I get rich, I'll start acting like it. But the wealthy think differently. They say, I'll start acting rich, thinking, planning, behaving, so that I become it. And that is the secret. Every rich person you admire started believing before they had proof. They spoke it when no one believed them. They invested before they had the money. They showed up with confidence when others mocked them. They refused to be defined by their environment, their upbringing, or their past. And you must do the same. So let me ask you, do you believe you can become wealthy? Do you believe you deserve to live in overflow, not survival? Do you believe you're capable of building something great? If your answer isn't yes, then this is where the work begins. Because until you believe it, you'll keep doing just enough to stay afloat. You'll keep playing small. You'll keep making decisions from fear instead of vision. Wealth is not built in your hands. It's built in your mind. What you believe becomes your world. So if you're tired of being broke, if you're tired of watching other people rise while you stay stuck, if you know deep down you were made for more, then believe it, affirm it, declare it, act like it, and never, ever let anyone talk you out of it again, because the moment you start believing, you've already started becoming. There's a reason you're not rich yet. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you're unlucky. And it's not because you weren't born into wealth. It's because you've been trained to think like the masses, not like the rich. Rich people don't think like you. They don't respond to the world the same way. They don't see problems the same way. They don't wake up with the same thoughts. You see, every result in your life is the product of your thinking. If you think like the poor, you get poor results. If you think like the wealthy, you attract abundance, not by magic, but by mental law. We become what we think about, and most people never become wealthy because they never think like someone who deserves wealth. So let's explore the difference. When a poor man sees money, he thinks, I need to spend it. When a rich man sees money, he thinks, how can I multiply it? When a poor man sees a challenge, he thinks, this is too hard. When a rich man sees a challenge, he thinks, there's opportunity here. When a poor man hears about success, he says, they're lucky. When a rich man hears about success, he asks, what can I learn from them? It's a completely different operating system. The poor react, the rich respond. The poor chase comfort, the rich pursue growth. The poor wait to feel ready. The rich act while they're scared. It's not that the rich have some magic formula, they simply ask better questions. Questions like, what can I build that solves a real problem? How can I deliver 10 times more value than I'm paid for? What can I learn today that will help me grow tomorrow? You see, the poor think money is the goal, but the rich know money is the result, a result of service, of usefulness, of vision and persistence and problem solving. So here's the question I have for you today. Are you thinking like the wealthy, or are you thinking like someone who plans to stay where they are? Now, I'm not talking about material things. I'm not talking about pretending you're rich by buying flashy clothes or expensive shoes. I'm talking about real wealth. The kind that's built from the inside out. True wealth begins with identity. Rich people see themselves as valuable, capable, and deserving. They think in terms of abundance. Poor people think in terms of limitation. And as long as your identity is tied to struggle, lack, and fear, you'll keep creating it over and over again. Because your life can't grow bigger than your thoughts. It never has. It never will. Let me tell you what wealthy people understand that the average person ignores. Money is a tool, not a trophy. You don't chase it to look rich. You use it to build freedom. Time is more valuable than dollars. You can always make more money. You can't make more time. Your mind is your greatest asset. The better your thinking, the better your decisions. The better your decisions, the better your life. Discipline beats talent. Every time. The man who shows up every day will outperform the genius who only moves when he feels like it. Wealth requires risk, not reckless risk, but calculated, strategic movement. If you want safety and certainty, you'll never build anything lasting. Here's the reality. Most people think poor, talk poor, live poor, and then blame everything but their thinking. They say, it's the economy. It's my upbringing. It's the system. But here's what I've learned. Every excuse is a lie the mind tells to protect itself from change. You can't change your circumstances until you change your mindset. You must think bigger, move faster, believe deeper, and act as though your future depends on what you do today, because it does. If you want to be rich, you must. Read more than you scroll. Invest more than you spend. Learn more than you gossip. Lead more than you follow. Delay pleasure. Welcome feedback. Stay disciplined when motivation fades. And above all, you must rewire the way you think. So stop waiting. Stop blaming. Stop hoping someone comes to save you. You're the answer you've been waiting for, but only if you're willing to think differently. Not like your friends, not like your coworkers, not like your past, but like your future. Rich people don't think like you. But the moment you start thinking like them, seeing what they see, doing what they do, believing what they believe, that's the moment your life begins to transform. Let me tell you the truth. This is why you're not rich yet. It's not because you're not talented. It's not because you weren't born into wealth. It's not even because you haven't had the right opportunity. No, you're not rich yet because you haven't developed the right mindset. You haven't accepted the truth that governs wealth. You are the cause. Your thoughts are the beginning, and your results are the reflection. It's not the job. It's not the economy. It's not who's in office. The difference between the rich and the poor is not money. It's thinking. And until you change the way you think, you'll keep repeating the same cycle. Struggling, waiting, reacting, surviving. But there's another way to live, and it starts with taking full responsibility for where you are right now. You see, everything in your life, the money you have, the job you work, the home you live in, even the people around you, is a direct result of your past thinking. Don't like it? Good. Because the beautiful part is this: if you created your present reality through thought, you can create a new one the same way. Now let me give it to you straight. The average person will never get rich, not because they can't, but because they won't. They won't change their routine. They won't read. They won't invest. They won't take risks. They won't do the uncomfortable work. They say they want more, but their actions don't match their words. They spend hours scrolling but say they don't have time to build a business. They spend hundreds on fast food, clothes, and entertainment, but say they can't afford to invest or learn a skill. It's not about resources. It's about priorities. And until you prioritize growth over comfort, nothing in your life will change. The rich have made this shift. They do what others won't. They think long-term. They train their mind. They say no more often than yes. They understand that discipline creates freedom. Most importantly, they take responsibility for everything. No blaming, no waiting, no excuses. If they fail, they study the failure. If they succeed, they scale it. And every step of the way, they believe deeply that they are meant to succeed. That's another reason you're not rich yet. You don't believe it's possible for you. Not truly. You hope, you wish, you say the right words, but deep down, you still carry the belief that maybe it's not for people like you. Let me tell you something. That belief is a lie. Wealth is not reserved for a chosen few. It is built step by step by those who are willing to pay the price for it. And that price, it's paid in attention, in energy, in discipline, in failure, in persistence. But it's never paid in luck. The question is not, can you become rich? The question is, are you willing to change so that you do? If you want to be rich, you must become the kind of person who creates wealth. You must change the way you think about time. Stop wasting it and start owning it. Money. Stop fearing it and start learning how it works. Failure. Stop avoiding it and start learning from it. Success. Stop idolizing it and start pursuing it. No one is going to hand it to you. No one is coming to fix your life. You are the solution. The moment you accept that, your entire life begins to shift. Your habits change. Your circle changes. Your thoughts become sharper. And slowly, surely, your external world starts to match your internal one. I want you to ask yourself something. What would happen if I really believed I could be wealthy? How would I wake up? How would I spend my day? Who would I associate with? What would I stop doing? What would I start? Because wealth is not some distant dream. It's the byproduct of aligned action, rooted in belief. It's already been done. Millions have done it before you, many with less than you have now. What made them different? They made a decision. They said, I'm done settling. I'm done being afraid of money. I'm done blaming and waiting. I will become rich because I am becoming the person who deserves it. And you can do the same. It starts with a shift, not in your bank account, Not in your paycheck, but in your thinking. Once you change your thoughts, your world changes. That's why you're not rich yet. But the moment you believe this and live like it's true, everything begins to change. You won't need permission. You won't wait for motivation. You won't shrink to fit in. You'll move with purpose. You'll think like a leader. And wealth will chase you. Because the truth is, you're not far off. You're just one decision away from a new direction. So make the shift. Right now. Because once you do, the version of you that's waiting on the other side, the rich, disciplined, purposeful version of you, will finally have permission to rise.